What up, it's Jacob, aka OMGesus. Of course, I'm here with Foxy Steve, Big Slice Gaming, and the Singer Bro, all the Super Demo Bros, all here to talk about our favorite demos, or just demos we want to talk about from Steam Next Fest June 2026. Can't wait to get into it, so without further ado, here we go. Cool edit. Okay, first game I want to talk about this time around is Valor Mortis. Now, this game is very much what I expected, which is a first-person action game akin to your Dark Souls, but, you know, playing in first person is definitely a notable difference. You have a block with your sword, which you can use to parry. You do get a heal, which is in your hotbar, just like in Dark Souls, just like in Elden Ring or any of those games. It is tough, as you can see. The countering feels nice. There's more to it as well. You unlock stuff like this pistol here. There's like abilities that you can use. You know, you get like a fire thing, and the main thing in the demo here is that at the end you get like a real boss fight, and the boss fight's really intense. You know, like forces you to use all your options. You do have to use the gun, as you can see here earlier on. There's like gross like pustules on this guy, and if you shoot them, then he takes like stagger meter. So in a way, it's also kind of like Sekiro, but the game itself is really hard and really fun and super cool. The demo does feature two different chapters. One is chapter 1, or part of chapter 1, and then one is chapter 4, so you get to go ahead a bit and do that. I didn't do the chapter 4 part, but I was wowed by what I played here. I can't wait for this game to come out. This is a 10 out of 10 demo right here.
Yo, what's up? Foxy Steve here, bringing you some of the top games I played for Steam Next Fest. A lot of awesome demos, and this first one is Project TurboBlast, extremely fast-paced arcade racer. Invokes a lot of the same vibes as something like F-Zero GX, Wipeout, that kind of game. As you can tell from the footage here of me playing it, this game is extremely fast. It's all about boost. There are different ways you can boost your vehicles in this game. You can boost them by drifting. You can boost them by just doing it off rip on your with a special button. However, if you boost too much without getting it from a drift or a draft, then you can blow out your engine. So you have to manage how much boost you're willing to use versus using boost pads, doing tricks in the air and then landing. Hitting a certain amount on the trick meter will get you boost as well. You also have a RPM gauge over there where it says ready. Once it hits those rainbow colors, you'll get another slightly longer speed boost that'll persist to help you gain the advantage. Obviously, this game is extremely fast. I was worried that it was going to be hard to keep track of everything that was going on, but honestly, even though I kind of suck at the game with the footage here, it wasn't that hard to keep track of what was going on screen. The positioning and size of all the icons and the noise cues, the audio cues, made it very easy to know when it was time to activate a boost when I was able to do so. So I was able to really focus on that and not get too lost in the sauce of, is it time? Did I miss my opportunity? That kind of thing. I could not put this game down. Had a blast playing it. It is from Pandemonium. It's the dev and publisher. It is set to come out sometime in 2026. We do not have a release date yet. I did give this demo a 10 out of 10 on our scale. I think it was incredible. This will be a day one buy for me when it comes out. The demo for Project TurboBlast is still up on Steam, even after Next Fest is over, so I highly recommend giving this game a try if you are into arcade racers at all.
Pin money was one of my biggest surprises from Steam Next Fest. If you know me, you know that I've been on a huge incremental game kick lately, so an idle game about bowling sounded right up my alley. In Pin Money, you buy a rundown bowling alley, and turn it into a $1 billion business is kind of the tagline. Every pin you knock down earns cash, which you use to buy upgrades that help you earn even more cash. You get the gist. It's an idle game. Unlike a lot of idle games, though, you play a much more like active role in this, where a lot of idle games you just kind of click and the money goes up for you. You're actually the one bowling, at least in the center lane. So you time your shots based on like there's like a little bar. And you try to hit it in a meter that goes back and forth. You try to hit it in the middle. That kind of determines if you've played any video game with bowling. It's very similar to pretty much any other bowling game. But yeah, as you progress, you unlock more lanes to hire additional bowlers that bowl for you in the other lanes. And that kind of gets the idle stuff going and increases a lot more of the passive money. And there's also some risk and reward cards that you choose at the beginning of each run that kind of modify the run. The demo selection felt pretty basic, but like stuff like your strikes are now worth 2.5 times what they're normally worth, and but it shortens the length of time between each run, so you only have a much more limited amount of time to rack that money up before spending it on more stuff. But yeah, if you're a fan of idle or incremental games, Pin Money is definitely worth checking out. I had a blast. I didn't want to put it down, and I ended up pretty much finishing everything that was available in the demo, and then was disappointed that it was over. So if you're an incremental game fan or an idle game fan, you have to give this one a shot.
Next game I want to talk about is this game called Echo Weaver, which I think is looking incredible. It's a Metroidvania. Yeah, there's a lot of those, of course, action adventure game. But what makes this interesting, besides the really cool art style, is that it's also a time loop game. I mean, we have those as well. You could see me chowing down on something in this video. That's pretty funny. But yeah, like at first there's not really combat, but when you die or after a certain amount of time ticks down, which you can see at the top, there's like a progress meter. Then the loop will start back over. But as you kind of go through, you start to unlock like, you know, ways to sort of skip forward in the loop, ways to unlock things that weren't unlocked before. You get information, and I think the way that the progression worked was really cool. Like there's a degree of discovery that's happening, but within the time loop. You know, so like later on you're starting at the loop, but you're still able to like skip ahead, you know, to the next part. So I thought it was pretty clever how this game progressed. But as for the like gameplay and everything, it's really fun. It's a platformer, but it is also a roguelike. You have this glaive thing that you could use to attack with and do other things with. But yeah, I just thought it was super clever, super cool, had like an interesting story. The music was dope, the art is cool. Really enjoyed this one. Echo Weaver.
Yo, what's up, gang? It's Foxy Steve here, back with more Steam Next Fest demos that I thought were awesome during the event. This one we have is Screenbound from Digital Pajamas as the dev. Well, Crescent Moon Games is the dev. Digital Pajamas is the publisher on this one. And it's a 2D/3D platformer. You are holding a game console, like a Game Boy, that shows the game in 2D, while you're also traversing the world in 3D. And there are different hazards, enemies, and places you can explore depending on which perspective you're looking at. It's a really unique idea. Really love the implementation of the 2D and 3D here. You can also move the handheld around, so that way it's not so much in the way while you're traversing the environment. Like for example here, you've got this door that you can only see in 2D, but you can access it in the 3D realm. And now you go into these special side areas here that only give you 2D platforming. And then when you leave out of here, you find yourself back out into the full 3D environment. I think this game is extremely clever. I love the vibes of it. It has really good writing, really interesting premise as well. If you're trying to find your mother, I believe, is the whole premise of this game. And this isn't going to be the only bit to this. I do believe there's other like games that you can go into as well once you get through all these levels. So I'm very much looking forward to this game. Screenbound releases September 10th. You can actually still download the demo for Screenbound right now. So if you're into 3D platformers or 2D platformers at all, I do highly recommend giving this game a try. I give it an 8.5 on our scale for demos. It's a great demo, and I think this game is also going to be just as fantastic when it drops.
Desktop Explorer is a surreal psychological thriller that takes place entirely inside what feels like a real like Windows 95 computer. It's kind of crazy how accurate it is. But yeah, the premise is that you inherit an old PC, I think, from your uncle. But yeah, as you dig through its files, you discover like notebook entries, journal entries, strange documents, and like a text adventure hidden on the machine, like with like corresponding image files and stuff. And it kind of starts out as like a simple curiosity, just kind of checking stuff out on the computer, and it turns into something much deeper. So you're searching through folders, opening files, and kind of piecing together clues throughout the computer for, I don't even really know what we're trying to solve based on the demo. I'm just kind of along for the ride. But image files become like kind of part of the puzzle as you uncover like secrets that, again, I think it's your uncle left behind. There's a handful of like really, really interesting puzzles. Like there was one that was hidden inside like the text file, like the metadata file of one of the files that you open, like the script file. And there's like you figure out a password by kind of shifting the window around and resizing it to that, like turns it into a picture that shows you I don't know how to explain it. You just have to play it. There's some footage in the video here, but you have to play the demo for yourself to really understand what I'm talking about. It's a crazy ride. Sorry, I had a timer that was about to go off. I had to wrap up.
All right, next up, I'd like to talk about this game called Arcane Eats. Now, take your typical Slay the Spire card experience and then make it like you run a cafe. And the result is like really interesting. Now, I played a lot of like board games that kind of take interesting concepts and turn them into board games, you know, like Red Dragon Inn, for instance. I believe that's also like a card game, essentially. Anytime that happens, I think that it's super clever and it like tickles your brain in like an interesting way, even though it's the same kind of experience. Like no one's attacking you per se in this game, but like as you could see, that guy, he had like a 3 above his head just a minute ago. If you didn't feed him enough, then he would have complained, and then that does like 3 damage to your psyche essentially. So you are taking damage, but it's almost like your pride is being damaged. So you're just trying to feed people so they don't complain, and that's kind of how it works. At first I didn't really grasp that you could stack recipes on top of each other and make them like more intense. So as you can see here on the left, when my mouse is circling it, there's like so many things stacked on this one thing. It just looks like a bunch of pans on top of pans, which that's how it's represented. But when you feed them, it's like as if like you took all of those ingredients and you put them together into one dish, and they can stack up and do like a lot of quote-unquote damage to people's hunger. Also, like it's interesting how they mix and match other modifiers to, you know, make people like hungry faster. Like the more spicy it is, the the quicker they get through their hunger gauge. Some things are synergistic that increase like the essentially hunger value that it'll feed the customer, so they'll be satisfied. I mean, you can see like they have these little stomach icons. They need like 10 points to fill, and then, you know, here's the spicy up here, and then some recipes or some cards need like to only work with other specific ingredients, and those ingredients do this thing and that thing. You know, it's like, it's really interesting how they've turned this into a fantasy diner game. Yeah, like here, that kid, as long as she's at the table, you have to feed her first, right? Just stuff like that. The boss battles are really intense. The game itself is just awesome. I recommend everybody check it out if you like card games. But yeah, just thought it was clever. Thought it was super cool. Good times.
All Dice on Deck is a roguelite all about rolling dice, pushing your luck, and deciding when to walk away. The premise is pretty simple. Each round you roll a mix of dice. there's 3 dice: damage dice, shield dice, and gold dice. Damage dice hurt you, shield dice block the damage dice, and gold dice earn you money. Your goal is to survive 10 rounds and reach the fateful treasure island at the end of the map. But every round adds more dangerous damage dice, making survival increasingly unlikely. Basically, it adds more damage dice, and some of those dice do double damage or triple damage. So it's like the risk gets greater each time, but so does the reward. So you can either continue to take the risks or go back to port, at which point you can keep the gold that you've earned. But if you get too greedy and lose all your hearts, you lose all of it. But there are upgrades that you can spend money on to keep a certain percentage of the money that you otherwise would have lost. But it's still worse than getting all of it. But yeah, back at the port, when you start back over, you spend all the gold on permanent upgrades like more shield dice. You can get extra hearts. You can get higher gold payouts. And even start closer to Treasure Island, so like you can leave ports on like some of the islands in the middle of your trip, so that you can start further along and closer to the final island. But you only have 30 days or 30 tries to get there, at which point it's a permadeath and the run completely starts over and you don't make it and you have to start over. I burned through everything the demo had to offer. I didn't want to stop playing. It's really addictive. The animations on the dice is really cool, and every time you get gold, a bunch of gold coins end up on the table too, which is really satisfying to watch. It just adds some really aesthetic layers that just adds to the whole game. It's super fun and really simple. I think the full game has some more like extra types of dice and stuff like that, but yeah, this is, if you like simple roguelites that are kind of based on like old dice games and stuff, this is a pretty cool one to check out.
All right, the next game that I want to talk about is Sprawl Zero. Holy shit, this is awesome. If you know like FPS games from like the 2000s, this game is going to speak to you, man. So like it has that kind of older shooter like look to it, which I absolutely love. But you know, it's still new, right? Like the lighting looks modern, everything looks cool, like it moves fun, you know what I'm saying? It's like mobile. The gun combat is cool. I find it interesting that like you don't just have guns, you have to keep taking guns from enemies, so that kind of makes it interesting and different. Here you can see I have like a gun. There's like a lot of, you know, first person shooter platforming. The story is really like dark cyberpunk, which, you know, we all love. And there's like, you know, several powers. You can slow down time. You can basically put in, you know, you could do like the Half-Life 2 thing where you suck anything to your hand. You suck it to your hand and then you throw it at them or whatever, and that's like fun to do. Yeah, when you run out of bullets, you throw the gun at them, and then you could, you know, pick up any gun. I find it interesting there is gun rarities, you know, like blues, greens, whatever, purples. I think there's legendaries, right? So that bit is interesting to me, but like, man, the music is sick. That was like pumping me up. It's like almost 2000s era like techno, which is a blast. It's just like brutal and badass. Like, I'm just absolutely in love with this game. I think it's awesome. If anyone likes just a first person shooter action that makes you kind of think and want to use like powers, you know. There's also a power where you can like suck in bullets and shoot them back, you know. So, you know, this is gonna be a game with like psychic powers, but you're a robot, a lot of weapons to mess with. Fucking badass time. Sprawl Zero. You need to check that out.
The easiest way to describe Burn 9 is it's basically a Metal Gear Solid game, but you're not the one sneaking through enemy territory. You're the controller behind the computer, talking to the agent and guiding them through their mission. So you're basically a military operator acting as the eyes in the sky for the field team. And things go wrong almost immediately, and within minutes, your entire squad is wiped out except for one survivor that you have to guide through to finish the mission. So you scan the maps that she's walking through. You want to identify points of interest for her to investigate, and you have to make like some critical decisions through a lot of dialogue heavy conversations. It's very story heavy, but the writing is really good. But yeah, some of the choices that you make really feel like they could get your last remaining operative killed. It was really tense. The writing is really strong. The atmosphere is stressful. Every decision feels like it's an important one. I think that if you're a fan of Metal Gear Solid, you need to check this game out. I never played a Metal Gear game, but I know what a Metal Gear game looks like. The only issue that I really had with the demo was there's a bug that was happening where my mouse would disappear if the game was in full screen mode. Like, I couldn't see it, but you could see it on the stream, which is very strange. But putting it in window borderless or whatever kind of fixed that issue, and it was fine. But yeah, that was really the only issue I had with it. Yeah, this was easily one of my favorite ones from Steam Next Fest. So that's Burn 9. Go check it out.
This game is called Iron Nest Heavy Turret Simulator. And man, is it so cool. So it's really just a game where you're inside of a turret. It's like that PvVK or PvKK, or however you say it, game. And I haven't played that game. I'm sure it's great, but I have played this, and it's incredible. You have to do all of these steps to fire a cannon, and it's easy to follow in a way. It's like literally there's a checklist on the wall that says do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. And I did all that stuff, and it resulted in a correct fire. But you have to like literally go through an entire process. It's so fun. It's so interesting. If you like these like old school devices with like cranks, and like levers and all this stuff, there's like a physical map, but you essentially have to run like a calculation through like a manual computer that then gives you like the angle of this and the degrees of that and the distance of that, and you plug it all in there. You have to like load the big ass ammunition into the actual cannons themselves, and just do all this crazy shit and flip all these switches. It's so much fun. I only did the test fire because I was trying to cover a lot of ground, but I think this would be really fun to play all the way through. And I think it has like a massive following on its like Patreon or GoFundMe or whatever crowdfunding they use. So yeah, keep your eye on Iron Nest. Lots of people are enjoying this one. I can't recommend it enough. It's super interesting if you like simulator games.
Mydear.exe is another game that takes place entirely inside a 90s computer, a lot like Desktop Explorer, but without kind of the psychological weirdness. This one's incredibly wholesome. The game tells the story of Lucien and Ellie, a French couple who've been married for over 50 years. As a romantic gesture, Lucien creates a collection of little games hidden throughout the old computer, each one kind of representing a specific moment in their lives together. A lot of them are just kind of like 1 or 2 button experiences. One has you biking along Lucien's old mail route from when he was younger and first met Ellie. Very similar to like the Google dinosaur jumping game that you get when you don't have an internet connection. And then another one is one that lets you play as a character that represents their cat fighting off dogs in an alley. Just really goofy stuff, but I mean they play pretty well too. But as you complete more challenging levels, you unlock more pieces of their story. I was really invested in the minigames and the heartfelt narrative when the computer suddenly blue screened. So I thought it was gonna be like a twist again, like Desktop Explorer, but it ended up being kind of a sweet, like Ellie brings up like, oh, did I break the computer? And Lucien's just like, nope, that's not supposed to happen. And then he just kind of goes on a bathroom break and the computer reboots. And then you play on kind of the administrator side of the computer that Ellie's just kind of messing around with, and when she finds an old file about a medical diagnosis, I'm not going to spoil it here, So it takes kind of a heartbreaking turn instead of a psychological thriller turn. And then the demo just ends there on that cliffhanger. And like, I was kind of shocked by that. But the full game, I guess, is only supposed to be about 2 hours long. And I don't know when it comes out, but I'm really looking forward to this one.
Then we got this game, Restory, chill electronics repairs. Music, dope. Vibes, dope. You have like a little shop where you get orders either online or people come straight to you. It seems like it's in Japan. And you either have to clean like components, or you need to replace components that aren't working, and then, buy buy the components that are broken to then replace in the device to get it working. It's so fun. Like, if you like games where you're trying to fix stuff, then this game is definitely for you. It's also seems to be like set in the 90s, so there's all these people like giving you Tamagotchis, old Nokia phones and shit. They're giving you like old controllers like this one, like for an Atari or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of tear stuff apart, you clean it, you throw out parts that aren't working, you order new parts and you fix it and you make money, and then you gotta like pay your bills on time and shit like that, and you can invest in like other what do you call them? You can invest in like certifications and stuff, so you probably can like unlock different types of components and devices. Probably gets more complicated. At the end of the day, it is a cozy, good time. And graphically, it's nice. The store itself is pretty cool, as you could see here. You could put stuff wherever you want, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Definitely, if you like sim games, especially cozy ones, and like stuff like this, Restory should be on your radar as well.
Legends of Rock is a life sim where you play as a struggling musician trying to build a band and finally get your big break. You start with almost nothing, no money, no job. And you get a job working at a record store just to pay rent, buy food, save up enough for your first guitar. And then once you have it, your days become a balancing act. You have a time limit for each day, and every day becomes a balancing act between working, practicing your skills, writing songs, and trying to book your first gig at the local bar, which you can't even do until you have music to play. So it's a balancing act of all of that. On top of that, you need to spend some time socializing with the town's residents. So like talking to people at the pub, at the store, wherever you can find people, to find people to jam with and eventually recruit bandmates. The record store job is its own kind of little mini game where you match customers with records based on the genre and decade that they have listed. It's pretty trivial, but I mean it serves as like its main purpose is to make you money, and it's fun in its own right in that at that level. But what really stood out to me is how nostalgic the whole thing felt. It reminds me of like kind of those addictive life sims that you would find on like Congregate.com or Addicting Games. It's a combination of RPG mechanics, life sim stuff, band management. The demo pretty much ends after you play your first gig, so it kind of gives you a good balance of like kind of the whole life sim aspect of it and balancing your priorities and stuff. But what I played of it was maybe like an hour and 20 minutes, and I had a ton of fun with this one. I can't wait until it comes out. I forgot when it comes out, but yeah, it's definitely one that I'm going to be looking out for.
Yo, what's up? It's Foxy Steve here. We're going over some of the top games that I enjoyed during Steam Next Fest. This one we have is Impulse from the same developers that brought you Splitgate and Splitgate 2. With this one, they are pretty much doing this as an homage to Titanfall. Given we have an absence of a Titanfall 3, they just said, well, we're going to do it ourselves. So what we have here is basically Titanfall drilled down to its very core. You have the same movement. A lot of wall running, a lot of boosting around, double jumping. You even have your titans, you have your mechs in this game. They spawn in on the maps, and when they do, you can get to them and pilot them as you would in Titanfall. And they also have their own individual abilities as well. The movement in this game, very slippery, very slidey. I don't know if it's as slippery as in actual Titanfall or not. I would have to compare them, because I feel like I was moving around and slipping around a lot more in this game. Definitely took me a lot longer to get back into the groove of playing this kind of shooter with the way it feels. But once I did, I really found myself enjoying it a lot. Really enjoyed it. I feel like this just takes that very core of what makes a Titanfall or Titanfall 2 multiplayer enjoyable and strips away all of the AAA fluff, a lot of the more cinematic vibes, but it really gives you that core shooting experience you're looking for. And you also have abilities. You can also upgrade your weapons after every round, kind of like Call of Duty. A lot of former Titanfall devs worked on this game, and it shows. There is a certain level of polish here that I really enjoyed. Could do with some balancing, but that comes with the territory of most multiplayer shooters these days. Though I did enjoy my time with it as it was. I think I gave it a 7.5 on our demo scale, just because early days of it. Definitely has potential to grow more. Looking forward to seeing more modes and more weapon abilities and things like that. Biggest criticism of this really is that I would love to just have a lethal secondary or a throwable lethal. These are all like support items for your lethal throwables. But other than that, really a nitpick. Really enjoyed my time. It definitely gave me that one more match vibe. I want to do another match and another match over and over again. So really looking forward to this. It's actually in early access right now, so you can grab this game. It is on sale on Steam, $14.99. So if you are into this kind of game, if you missed Titanfall, if you like Apex Legends and you want something in that vibe, then I do recommend checking out Empulse.
Empulse. Speaking of Empulse, we played it during our NPD multiplayer demo session for Steam Next Fest. Mechanically really great. I had a lot of cool stuff going for it. If you like first-person shooters, you should check it out. However, I hope they get, by the time it launches, better lobby balancing, because we just kept getting stomped and got really frustrated by the end. Trine 6, let's talk about that. Puzzle mechanics where you throw balls around, you jump between water cubes and occasionally fight bosses, and well, the fighting felt clumsy. The puzzles seemed really clever and had some unique ways and mechanics to make you interact with the co-op person. So yeah, if you like those kind of games, check this one out. Oops Unit. You're a bomb defusal squad with your friends, and there's proximity chat, and it's a lot of goofy fun, like blowing yourselves up or tripping over lasers. If you like the co-op games where insanity happens, a lot of insanity happens here. Please check this one out. We had a lot of fun. Project Doors. Now this one I do think was our favorite from the lot that we played, right? Project Doors has a bunch of weird and cool references, and it has backroom sections, it has puzzles. It's like Repo, only, I don't know, a little more interesting, a little more varied in the activities you're doing. Yeah, you're still grabbing like anomalies to bring back and kind of collect to that, but there's not really a time limit to my understanding, but there are plenty of dangers in there, and just weird stuff. And if you like weird games with your friends where it's freaky and like you can die a lot, and yeah, man, this was definitely the highlight for us. Definitely wishlist this and check it out, because it'll probably blow up. Trivia Murder Party 3. What is there to say about this besides it's another one of those Jackbox party style games where you go around, did you have people get on their phones? It's a fun stream game, and you compete to see who can stay alive the longest. And this one had some neat games like the poison thing, and people are putting it in different cups, and there's a good array of mini games in there. But yeah, we had a good time, but those, Jackbox games are always a fun time. So all of these games were made better with playing with friends, but these were some of the highlights and ones that really stood out to us, and we tried. And yeah, it was such a good time playing with your friends, and you all can do the same thing on Steam Next Fest demos. And if you really like a demo, give it a wish list. Follow the page. It really helps those creators get noticed. Yeah, but that's going to do it for me for Steam Next Fest and the multiplayer stuff. This has been Steven, aka the Singer Bro. On to the next guy.
Okay, then we have Invokyr, which I played with the homie, which is fun. It's a friend game. I don't say friend slop, but it's a friend game that's basically Jumanji, which is tight. So based on where your piece moves, it generates sort of another random area that you have to walk around. Then it kind of turns into like Repo or whatever, games like that, where you have to like wander around a mansion and try not to get eaten by like alligators and shit or like weird monsters. There's like a chess piece that'll come after you. If you got to be careful, but you're looking for these gold idols, and when you're actually holding them, they kind of fuck with you a little. Like one of them runs away, one of them reverses your controls. You also pick up dice that like the dice will do things like start fires or whatever they do. There's a bunch of different dice. One of them will heal you, one will resurrect you, but the dice also has like fucked up faces, can warp in monsters. But yeah, in the world of like multiplayer Steam games, this one stood out. Tons of fun with this. Invokyr is super cool, super interesting, pretty creepy. I love that. I love the first Jumanji movie. And if you like that, then you're gonna enjoy this game. Then we had Pizza House Simulator, which was pretty fun. So yes, the pizzas were very simple. At least in the demo part that I played, it was just cheese and tomatoes as a topping with tomato sauce and stuff. It's a standard kind of simulator game, but I think graphically it looks cool, looks unique. You don't get that a lot, like very often. Most of the time these things look really low effort, low budget, not great, even if they are fun. I do like this like time it right thing that's happening here on the screen with the pizzas, but it gets really intense for like one person. I was playing by myself and it was getting really crazy. But you had to do everything, you have like a pizza machine, like a pizza, you have the cheese grater here. You gotta grate your own cheese. You gotta chop the tomatoes. You gotta make the sauce and everything. You have to like flatten out the dough. It's all that shit. But like, yeah, I think it just looked like it looked better than usual. These games don't look great typically. It is co-op. I just didn't have like a co-op partner, so it was frantic. But yeah, had a lot of fun. I just think it's funny that you have to tie up the bag and then pull the trash out of the trash bin, and I that really confused me when it was happening. But yeah, had a lot of fun. I was streaming at the time, and everybody found it interesting because I was going like insane. All right, then we got this another friend game called Vision Quench. Super weird, super strange art style. There's like guns, but it's fantasy. You go into these dungeons. It's like corporate. There's like vending machines. I was playing with Valor.exe and Send Nuggies. It was late at night and it was hilarious. Game overall is really funny, really quirky, very strange. You could eat stuff and then glow. There's like rats all over the place that are killing you. When you die, you turn into like a little pop. And then like the friends can hear you if they have them in your inventory. But yeah, overall good weird friend game, dungeon crawler type of thing. Really confusing, super strange, and I hear that it's like that kaiju cooking game apparently, which I didn't ever try. But yeah, thought it was like weird as fuck and cool, but a fun time. Okay, the next game I want to talk about is a game called Front RTS. This game is pretty sick. If you like old school real-time strategy games like I do, this one will definitely speak to you. It definitely has that kind of like old Command & Conquer vibe. The art style is interesting. It's basically two-toned. It's either gray or red. Everything is either gray or red, so it is kind of hard to see. That's sort of a drawback, but the way that it plays is awesome. I was really confused. It kind of, right at the beginning of the demo, it hits you with like all the info that you're supposed to need, like, oh, this does that, you need this for that, whatever, this means this. I kind of figured it out trial and error because I don't want to sit there and like read everything. It took me a long time to find the thing that like built the vehicles, so I just kept getting attacked by these enemies here, and like slowly losing more and more of my vehicles and just making like, you know, like foot units. But like at the end of the day, I was having a ton of fun just kind of trying to figure out what to do. I think if I ran through that mission again, I would do a lot better and rip stuff up. But like, yeah, I thought I was gonna lose, but the game itself ended up just having like enough tools for me to rebound, even though it was you know, losing a lot of my units over time. But yeah, the way it controls, it's the way you'd expect. You know, you make control groups, you can, you know, multi-target stuff, you attack, move, you patrol. There's like buildings give you more options. The one thing I did notice that there wasn't really like an upgrade path, so I'm not sure if like I'm missing some buildings just for this mission, or if like those just aren't in the game or whatever. But I did like just being able to simply build things just to get things moving in the right direction, and then be able to just like mass build units. So at the end of the day, fun as hell. If you like RTS games, this game should be on your radar. Front RTS, give it a shot. Yo, then we have this awesome arcade game beat 'em up called Takeover 2. This game is so cool. Like, love the art style and the animation. I think it looks like super amazing. The combat was a blast. This guy's, I don't know, there's multiple characters, you only get to play as one. This guy's reach is kind of whack. I missed a lot of hits, but it is fun kind of just mixing up your punches and kicks to get, you know, combos in. You could, if you find ammo, you could just pull out a gun and start shooting motherfuckers. I guess you're a cop or something. I found it really hard to like hit enemies with items, because you can't just use it as a weapon, you always have to throw it, and these fuckers kept like sliding and hitting me. So yeah, tough but amazing. Music really awesome. The game itself is like loud as shit, so you're gonna have to turn it down. But overall, tons of fun. Can't wait to play this with friends. If you like that beat 'em up like arcade experience, this one is for you, dude. All right, then we have this game called Vholume. It's a like arcade kind of runner, speedrunning game that I really vibed with. So first off, like the art style is really cool, because, you know, it's like brutalist. Oh, there I died. It's like a brutalist, like urban sprawling concrete kind of nightmare mixed with like a neon white type of experience. There, you know, you can wall run, as you can see, that keeps happening. You could do a slide. I was racing my ghost there. I kept trying it. You know, you'll have to slide under things, whatever, but essentially, like, first, you just have to beat the course. Once you beat the course, you could replay the level. The faster you do it, or the faster you finish a course, the like the more things you unlock. So you'll get like the, you know, the ghost for whatever the next medal is. You'll get like, you know, you'll put yourself on the leaderboard so you can see how you stack up against your friends or globally. You know, that whole thing, which is always fun. I kind of call those like challenge racers rather than like normal, just like racer games or speedrunning games. This game is no different. But like, I think graphically it's looking better than it first did. I remember I saw a demo came out for it like, I don't know, earlier this year or like late last year or something, and it looked fine, but I was like, I don't know. But then I saw it pop up again for Next Fest this time around for June, and I was like, oh wow, this looks really cool. It looks like the art and the textures have been upgraded, and now it seems to really have like an identity. And just playing it, you know, like parkour stuff, speedrunning stuff, just really fun to do. There's no combat as well, so you're just focused on what to do, or you might not know what to do and you might be a little lost. But yeah, you're just running on walls and running through this like urban like tomb essentially, and I had a ton of fun with it. I think I'm gonna buy this one for sure. Okay, then we got this game Windrunners that was insane, like shoot 'em up, bullet hell type of game. It's not the one that's you're going up down, it's like the sideways view type, which there's like quite a few of these. I mean, you know, like there's some of the best ones ever made were in this perspective, but I feel like you get more of the arcade, like you're at the, you know, your plane is at the bottom and you're going up toward the enemies and they're all kind of swarming, you know. This is more horizontal, more sideways. Anyway, point is, game is sick. I love the dogfighting. I think it's flashy and amazing. You have like a laser, you got like multiple missiles, crazy shit. You know, you have a dodge, so any attack that like would hit you will miss, so you can kind of go through the path of bullets or lasers or whatever. But it's just really fucking difficult. It is a roguelike experience, so of course, you know, it'll have that variety that like every fucking Steam game has, you know. But overall, loved the look of it. Thought it was a blast, and I needed to call this game out. Just wanted to quickly talk about this one. It's pretty cute. It's called Dumb Dunks, Dribble, Dunk, Repeat. Basically just a simple basketball game based on where you click in relation to where the ball is. It'll launch a basketball and you just have to get it in the hoop. So it's just like a physics, like almost arcade game. Almost feels, I guess, a little mobile-y in that way too, in some way. Just like really simple game. But it had a lot of personality. At one point, you're just trying to get a bomb to go through there without blowing up, and wherever the end touches explodes, so you have to get it to like flip and go at the correct angle down into the baskets. At one point, the basket's spinning, you gotta get in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, one of them's like based on the shadow. It's like you think that the ball's gonna go, or a bomb's gonna go in there, but the shadow needs to go into the shadow one. There's one where like there's just straight up like no light, so you gotta like, and the basket's moving, I think. I don't know. Point is, this game is ridiculous and fun. I could see it being fun on like Switch or something or like a handheld, but overall good time, really goofy, pretty fun. Okay, last but not least, we got this game called Slayblade, dude. This game is pretty cool. If you like those Beyblade things, right, where the little spinning top spins around, you might dig the fuck out of this game, honestly. It seems kind of early in development, but I do like the little town, you know, mechanic where you can walk around town and do some things. You can like cut grass with your Beyblade, but mostly you're just, you know, either going to the shops or you're doing Beyblade battles. But the, you know, based on the components, you'll have different abilities. But yeah, you're supposed to like just have these spinning top Beyblade thingies like spin around and then smash into the other one and then kill him and destroy him, whatever. I don't exactly understand how it works. Sometimes I'm hitting them and I'm taking damage. Sometimes I'm hitting them and then they die. But you are directly controlling the Slayblade, you know, like in these battles, which is cool. You just kind of like spin them around. There's like underground Beyblade battles. Slayblade, not Beyblade. Like that one was like surrounded like by bombs. Yeah, here you could see the grass thing, whatever, so you can get more money to buy more components. I don't know. Overall, I thought it was kind of like a cute, very indie experience, very interesting. I think anyone who's into Beyblade is gonna like this game. It was definitely worth a shot. Enjoy the demo. They're like, you have a few days until the tournament's supposed to start, and as soon as I clicked that, the demo ended. So I'm like, okay, this game is coming along. But yeah, cool shit, man. Loved Slayblade. Good times. And that's it. Okay, lots of demos we talked about. Lots of great games out there. Of course, there's so many more. Hundreds of games that we don't even know about, that we didn't try, but we try to get the word out as much as we can. So just remember, if you want to have a link to all the demos we talked about, they should hopefully fit in the description below. If not, maybe I'll have a link to somewhere where you can actually click on all of them, or you could just Google them for yourself. We're trying our best here. Make sure to check out everybody's links as well in the description. Follow Foxy Steve, Big Slice, myself, Singer Bro, all across the internet We love talking demos. Super Demo Bros playlist, of course, is below. Click that. You'll see the actual demo videos themselves and the podcasts that we do. You're going to find the video we did last Next Fest, just like this, on there too. We want to thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Neon Pocket Dimension on YouTube for more Super Demo Bros videos, more Save Point Society videos, more Neon Pocket Dimension podcast. We're doing all sorts of content. And don't forget, if you want to watch us live, we record typically twitch.tv/Neon Pocket Dimension on Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific time. So we hope to see you there live. If not, we love you. Thanks for watching. Doesn't matter. Thanks for being here. Thanks for staying this far into the video. If you tried demos for yourself, comment below. If you would tell us what you thought of the games, did you wish list any? Comments below. But for me and for all the rest of the Super Demo Bros, we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Whew. That was a lot of demos.